Bonsoir! Hello and good evening. Hope you're fine. And tonight we play a bit later in the earlier in the week because tomorrow I won't be able to be here and neither Saturday, so there won't be a puzzle Saturday. And yeah, basically. So right now we reached 5 cup, and to be able to be promoted, that's 7 victories, as you can see. And last week we did like 5 victory in a row, and tonight we'll continue, of course, reaching the 4 cup. And I don't know how long I play since then. Okay, so let's go for side elephant, and we'll play against a 4 cup who has a lot of games, and he hasn't played so many games into that league. Seems to be that's where he's at that point. So he went for inner elephant, and I will go for this classic opening move. Since level is rising more and more, maybe the game are becoming also longer and longer, and that's sometimes that may be a bit boring to stream. So I hope there won't be annoying games like the last one. Okay, so I want to avoid the cannon from coming back. Just lower the sound a bit. Yeah. But by doing that, what I have to pay attention, if the pawn is pushed, the rook goes somewhere else, and the pawn goes here, then the rook may be able to do some damage and threat a few things. So that's why I would say it's a priority to develop this knight. Okay, so he goes for that pawn, which is okay, and I will develop my rook on the third rank, which is way more safe. Actually, there is a small weakness here, since all the pawns are on the other side. That's an isolated pawn, so he has to defend with the rook. That was the only move, but I can keep my rook and keep the pressure here. The way from him to remove will be to bring the knight and then to push the pawn. But since then I will develop on the other side, because the elephant may also threaten that square if the pawn wants to be pushed. So pushing that pawn is a good threat against the rook here, because actually the rook here is pinning this pawn, so elephant couldn't take back, otherwise rook takes knight. But the counterpart is that the rook that was suggested to develop can't really right now. Still there are no clear way how to deal with that. I don't want to bring the pawn here because you can simply bring the cannon, so I will go for the rook right now. Maybe after that will give some ideas. He's likely, yeah, to bring back the pawn to the center. That was the idea. And of course I'm interested into this pawn. But on pawn here, cannon threatens 76, so get some use with the rook, like rook threaten cannon, The cannon is not really defend because this middle cannon is pinned. So he has to go here, rook check, rook here to neutralize the elephant and threaten the knight at the same time. But is there a way to continue this? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll try because that's removing the pressure from this pawn. But still the rook will have a good position. Of course he may also bring the rook here or here. Here is not a great square because, for example, one day the cannon may be able to come here and that would be gaining the rook. Of course the cannon is pinned right now, but after that. So check, he may go for the pawn or go for the king. If he went for the pawn, I would have bring my cannon to that spot. And it would have been worse for him. But in that case, those are the two squares that are interesting. And I guess this one is a bit better because it will keep the pressure on that pawn and neutralize an elephant. And this elephant was able to quickly reach the center, while this one is already a bit stuck. And even if the elephant reached there, there's no great square to continue the sequence. Alright, and we'll set a little trap here. That's bringing the cannon, and it seems that he missed that. So when you have like pieces aligned like that, cannons are often the play, and particularly in that case. So is there a way to do better than cannon takes knight, elephant, pawn back, elephant takes, rook takes? Okay, we go for okay, there's a big problem. If cannon takes, then rook here, and the rook threatens this knight that can be really protected, and if the knight moves, then rook takes cannon. So the way to go, sorry, is with the elephant. Alright, and now whatever happens, you won't have control of the column. Now there is the pawn blocking. Okay, so we gained a row knight, which is 5 points and very good, and that elephant is not in a great shape. I have to pay attention about this cannon, the way he comes back, because here that would prevent him from coming back. But I simply can bring back the rook, and there's no way for him to quickly chase my rook. Okay, so a quick discovery if the cannon moves. Cannon takes, knight takes, elephant takes, and knight here, check with the cannon and taking back the rook. That would have worked. Alright, so now I can check with the elephant since he released the square, and that will force him to bring the guard, which is great because that's something less into that file. So check. And we'll do a little jump with the cannon. And that's still a secured position because of the cannon. I can't take with the cannon because there's the elephant, and I won't take with the pawn because the rook takes simply. However, what's way better is to 73-63 is to push that pawn, because pawn takes, then cannon takes rook, pawn takes, then cannon takes rook, and whatever happens I may be able to take with the pawn after. Well done for having found that. Okay, again. Yeah, 92-98 seems straight. Even if I took with the pawn, the rook couldn't come here because of the knight, but still I want to avoid having too much people on that side of the board. And here I'm taking with the pawn to get more space for this rook. And before you can check that he moved his rook here in order to keep the column, but that was not a great move because that allowed my cannon to jump and jump back.
(10초) 남았습니다.
Not completely sure about this move. My idea is to prevent the rook from going here, but the rook could have gone there. Alright, and that's a bit better for me because I will be able to recycle my rook and move from that square. Of course, my idea is to exchange the rook since I have good advantage.
(10초) 남았습니다.
I think I blundered because that cannon is not supported and there's no way to support it like directly.
10초 남았습니다.
I have to give a pawn. Now the elephant covers, but still that was miscalculated. And the rook is threatened, of course, but he will probably see this. I have to keep that elephant. Protecting. Okay.
(10초) 남았습니다.
The threat is to dig in, like check, and here it works because the cannon defense. Otherwise, simply a rook takes. So we have way better score, but not a great position. We are still defending, and we need to find a way to, I don't know, exchange the rooks. I cannot bring that rook to the play because it's pinned. Because there's an elephant, sorry.
10초 남았습니다.
Okay, I use some time because commentating takes a lot of energy. I cannot bring the king because I'm using the cannon for support. '83, 62. Yeah, that could be a solution. I was more thinking about retreating the rook. But yeah, let's go for this. Okay, so everything's protected for now. I don't know why bringing the rook here does enhance his position. 06, 96. Yeah, I consider that move, but I don't know.
(10초) 남았습니다.
Okay, in order to give some play for this awful rook and also to leave this with the king. Okay.
10초 남았습니다.
Yeah, the risk is because of the defense with the rook.
(10초) 남았습니다.
But now we'll have a way more stable defense. If cannon takes, then rook takes, cannon takes, and if the cannon decides to go for the rook, then simply bring back this here.
(10초) 남았습니다.
I don't want to lose this pawn because it's used as a support for the knight, so I prefer to lose some mobility of my rook. What about cannon here would threaten the rook, but I may go for... I have to reconsider this position at some point. Okay, so he's offering an elephant for a knight. But there is way better to do.
10초 남았습니다.
Boom. Cannon threats, cannon holds, rook holds. So the rook is dead. Still, I'm very careful about this. Okay, so he goes for the pawn.
(10초) 남았습니다.
We just secure the fortress and then go for the push on that side with the rooks or whatever. Okay, that's kind of forcing to come back. He may go for cannon takes, rook takes, cannon takes, knight. That's 7 point for 7 points, but I'm still trying to exchange the most I can.
(10초) 남았습니다.
At some point the cannon will go here and there may be a risk to gain a rook. But if he is paying attention he may bring the cannon, so maybe the best will be to come back to that row and pin the cannon. Okay. Right, so he's bringing more here. I'm going with the elephant in order to threaten that pawn, and if he moves like this, then I can simply take with the elephant, and that's a pawn for a guard for an elephant, which is very good considering all what is coming soon. And right now, boom, let's spin this cannon. He has to go to defend for. I think bringing the guard here was way better because it afforded the cannon to come back, and it also leave the threats here. Of course that's defended by the rook, but that's not a great square to be.
10초 남았습니다.
The push is not possible yet. The knight covers, the knight blocks everything, and cannon won't do so much damage here. Maybe that's to bring the rook in the play. I think he should resign at that point because like there's not so much to do. If you see the score, there is like 20 points of difference. That's huge. Okay. Threatening rook takes, pawn guard takes, rook takes, and that's a rook for 2 cannons, which is very good. That's 14 points against 13. I could have fork. That there is so much to do. There is a cannon hanging, threatening the lonely guard. So rook takes. Because the rook is covered by the cannon, so that's even better that he brought the rook because we can simply exchange it. And now that's 39 points against 18, and probably the quickest to do is simply to sacrifice material until he has only 10 points. For this little combination, he may bring the guard. No, he may not bring the guard because it's because there is the cannon, and he cannot go to the middle because there is the other cannon. So right now we take that pawn. Check again. He may go to. I think going to the center was better. Okay, check. Now we take the knight with the cannon. And that's 10.5 points, so we simply need to take another pawn. And that's over. Okay, this way then. In a real tournament game you have to go for the checkmate, but that's quite easy in those positions. He wants the rematch, okay. Why not? And this time we are with Han. Center elephant against center elephant. Yeah, that was an interesting game, as you wrote. There was a lot going on into the middle. I had a great material advantage, but still I was more defending rather than attacking. Instead of elephant here, he should have gone for taking this file. He plays quite a defensive style, which is solid. It's not the issue. So if he pushes the pawn, I can simply bring the rook there and have the same threat. And that will be a threat because if he comes back here, since the rook is here attacking, if cannon takes pawn, then the pawn cannot take back, otherwise the knight is lost. But he decides to go for bringing the cannon. Elephant takes rook here, attacking everything. Knight, so that holds the position because the knight provides support for the cannon, and the knights also protect that. But is it possible to keep that pressure? That's the question actually. Because pawn here will come, so that there's another rook in the play. Yeah. Because we may have a funny trick is to bring back the elephant, because that will threaten the knight. Rook, pawn here for example, and we simply bring back the elephant, and if rook takes, then we take this knight. Okay, that was like not really expected, because that allows my knight to join the center, and the very good news is that the rook cannot go anywhere in that file, and that was the file that he was targeting. So he plays very aggressive and is not afraid about sacrificing material, which is good. But the long term may be a bit more painful. So if I do nothing, then elephant takes, and after the cannon will be hanging. But if I simply bring, then elephant takes, and the cannon is still hanging because it is pinned. So the idea to go that's protecting this pawn, that's also securing the elephant, and if elephant takes, then I could simply take the knight, so that's sacrificing a rook, but after I take the cannon, and that's very hard to hold for him, I think. Still there is the threat of elephant takes, because that would mean the cannon is not protected anymore. Elephant takes, likely. Okay. check. The king really should go here, because if he tries to defend with the guard, then I can simply pin the guard and there's no way to defend that actually. Sad I can't go for elephant check, would have been like the perfect spot. Okay, let's put some pressure from the other side so that my rook will be able to play on both sides, and that's also kind of controlling his rook. Okay, I will play this one safe. There is something coming for me that's elephant here. So bringing elephant to the corner, removing the knight, and then I will have two elephants threatening the squares, and that will check. And that will provide a great advantage because he will have to play with a guard and probably lose something. So okay, I just gave a rook, but still I think that's the way to go. Okay, and now the first move is to bring the guard, take, and that's the threat of discovery. Check. I can go here, I can go here to take the cannon. Trying to consider the cases. I think that's better because there's not so much people that can reach that line. Should I take this before? Yes. Okay. Not sure check was great for him because he could went for I don't know, bringing the rook here or here. That would be better. Why not using the guard, protecting and give mobility to the cannon? My idea is kind of similar, that to bring the guard to the center after. Okay, and there is the tactical finish that rook takes checkmate. That's a pattern to know that when you are able to do the discovery with the knight, then you can double check, and therefore that's checkmate. And you cannot do that with the elephant. There was no possibility like that for me to do. I completely forgot that I was giving the rook, but I think the counterpart and the attack was straightforward and quite annoying. Maybe the best he could go for bringing the rook here is likely to be the best move. Maybe. What if guard here? Because there's no way for me to like gain a rook for 3 with this. So maybe guard here was better. Yeah, that was a better way to hold the situation because he could flee after here. Sorry. And also maybe the cannon comes, and since the rook has no like great discoveries, then it's fine actually for blue. Check. The score is still similar, but there will be counterplay for blue. There's a pawn here. So yeah, the way for him to counter the attack was this. And from my side, when it's my turn here, the way to play is simply rook here, maybe. We could think that it's a bad move because the elephant here may take, but if cannon takes in order to threaten, then elephant takes, and that's completely pinned. And after bring this. Yeah, again, that was a funny game, good one. And we just have been promoted 4 cup. Maybe. Okay, we go for outer sang. Unusual for me, of course, but some player does play more and more outer song. It's coming back popular because since there was a from the PyChess site there was a stockfish developed for Korean chess, and it finds some interesting variation on that typical opening for blue and red, so it's more popular than it used to be because of variation found by the computer, and those are quite recent news actually. Yeah, that's linked. No, I think it's the best engine. Before there was an engine called Janggi. Those I mean I speak about I would say popular public Korean chess engines. Maybe there is a private one or experimental, like with I don't know, maybe neural networks. But about those two most popular, yeah, that's very modern change that happened in the way to play, particularly that this opening. I think I am not playing this correctly. So if he goes for the pawn, I can check, and after that I will be able to gain back some material. Yeah, that's quite interesting new, and I mean, if you have a look at like Western chess, how the computer completely changed the perspective in terms of opening, middle play, end games, like everything. That's the same, and there is like way more money involved in Western chess, so that's why it's, I would say, more advanced, considering the computer softwares. And so this is a Stockfish version. So Stockfish is the very popular AI for Western chess that has been adapted for this game by one guy, Fabian from PyChess. And actually he's using this engine to create AIs for a lot of variants of games, and you can simply check on PyChess. That's great if you want to like start and learn I don't know, Indian chess, or I don't know, chess variations. Okay, so I gave a pawn for discard the play. That's maybe sacrificing is the way to go. This cannon is weak. I may go for a rook there and then take the knight, but I give the elephant, so that's better to toss the knight out just before. And if the rooks come here, simply I have my cannon defending. That's something to consider in those positions. I may lose the control here, but that rook has not moved, so that's not a great deal. And now the question is about like taking the elephant or bringing the rook to that position. If I bring the rook here, he may try to bring the cannon. Seems very dangerous. check. Okay, let's try that. I'm not sure that's the safer. Oh. Okay. I thought it would play this. But I'm very fine with those guard like this. That's quite bad. And this cannon is not so great. The idea was to bring the pawn here because that stopped the threat from here, and if it takes back this rook then I can take this one, and also this rook is threatened, and that's also leave the space in the middle. I can show you after. Yeah, but that was quite an exciting plan and playstyle. But we'll never see. Okay, so I could go for this. I think that's the best because there is two threats here. Okay, that had to arrive at some point. Maybe I don't want to exchange the rooks. Rook here, he cannot go for the opposition because of the knight, so he has to take care of this pawn. And I can do a fork that doesn't work. Yeah. Since... Okay, he goes with the knight. There is the very threat. The fork wasn't working because if I did the fork right here when my rook is there, then it simply brings the rook and I take, and it takes my rook back because my knight was kind of pinned because of my rook. But since now my rook is away, that still doesn't work because he can bring the rook here. Oh, there is something good actually. Yeah, he's playing with fire and he will pay for it. Okay. And now this square is very interesting. Not even because of the cannon, but more because of the check. Since the guard is very isolated and I have a rook attacking. Check. King here, knight check. King comes back, knight check. So that's a guard for free. And if the king doesn't go here, that's like directly rook checkmate. So that's forced move again. Now the question is about taking the cannon. or not.
(10초) 남았습니다.
I will go for a not yet. Check. Doesn't bring anything. Of course I'm thinking about this. Because it will be forced to take with the... No. I like miss a piece
10초 남았습니다.
to finish this. I don't want to throw that game, and let's just secure this and consider the position for a second. Okay, disconnected and reconnected. Yeah, I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about bringing the cannon back. Okay. The issue is that when I check with the knight, he can take back with the other cannon, and that's what I want to avoid. I want to free this central file. Okay, so that's to take my knight, so that's forcing the play, but there will be an elephant here. And I think that's enough to be considered as a compensation. Now if I take the elephant, simply rook takes cannon and I'm dead. But I'm not sure I want to toss a knight for the cannon. Guess I don't have so much the choice. So cannon takes elephant is not possible because that's like completely losing. So what is better is to recycle that cannon and force the rook to move somewhere else. And at the same time, okay, that's spinning this cannon, but that will allow some recycling for this cannon. No, don't like so much this situation.
10초 남았습니다.
Ah! Nah, I clicked, but it didn't took it on time, so you had to click again, and that failed. It was yeah, but here I'm in very bad position because check. Still that there is like nothing else on the rook that can be brought to the center, so that should be okay. But let's, for example, no, he spinned. Let's say that he could bring something. No, king here is not really a solution because that's rook check, gaining the cannon for free. So that's not so comfortable to handle here. Because even if I exchange the rook, let's say, that's not a great ending with the two cannons. He will be able to trade or fork or exchange and gain with the points, because it's like he's playing with 3 points more because he has only one guard, but there's no way to get so much advantage at the fact that the fortress is weak. And the counterpart is that, for example, he has that elephant that he can play with and that is very strong in those kind of endings. So yeah, that was not great. I'm not sure. I think I missed something. It's a frustrating game because I thought I had the lead. Okay, that doesn't work. Okay, that's bugged. Yeah, the knight and the fact that there was only one guard remaining, but the cannons were not cooperating enough, so maybe I should have taken more time to consider this. But that's stupid. I don't play outer elephants. That's not getting the easy way to win for me. But that was an interesting game, so that's okay. I'm more familiar with yeah, don't believe that targeted ads. That's like, I don't know, he detected that I was French, that's sure, but for the relevance of the advertisement, I think there is better algorithm. I don't know, that they would basically have way more chance with like high-tech stuff or kind of geek stuff, because like that's a chess game, that's not like people. that's weird. Okay, threatening to take because it's pinned. I may go back to try to take the file, but that's a bit dangerous, so he goes for yeah, simply blocking the elephant. The counterpart is that he gave that file, and as you can see, the PCs are not really developed on that part of the board, so I will be able to dig and gain that elephant. Or even better, who knows. Infiltrating with the rook on the underdeveloped side is like very similar to the game we played tonight also. So I'm forcing the cannon to jump because of course that's protected, but I have an elephant here that may be able to remove the pawn that would allow him to jump back, or also threatened. So I could go for a rook here and take the elephant, or elephant check, and that's way better. Okay, that elephant is not great. Yeah, small fork. So he decided not to save the elephant. Probably he wanted me to forget that my rook is under threat. Okay, you want to play that game? I was thinking about take, having a lot of pressure, but the problem is that that's a discovery check on my king once the rook is here. So I may simply go for opening that will be losing a knight probably, but my counterplay is big enough. Don't really like this. Would have loved to take this one. Nah. If my elephant was here and you threaten it, when the elephant moves, and that's very likely that he's able to come back. So he did the mistake in order to take that knight, but like that's a rook that hasn't played at a bit exchange, and there won't be any worthy counterpart. So yeah, take the knight, and the game will be over soon after. It doesn't go for the knight, that's quite annoying. So that's just to secure the cannon in case the rook here. Alright. Now that cannon is out of play and may even lose. Yeah. Take this. I won't threaten the cannon because right now he gained those 3 squares. But that move seems counterintuitive because it breaks the pawn chain, but it's a little disadvantage compared to the tempo that are gained if he has to try to come back. So let's take, and there is a threat of taking for free because the cannon is also in the file, so yeah, he goes for unpinning. Alright. In that position I may go for cannon back. I may sacrifice the cannon because if he takes I take back. There's like nothing he can hope The only hope would be like to be able to bring the cannon in that square, but that's like not achievable here. There's no pawn to push, there's no fork to do. And for our side, in the long term, the pawn will be able to break the fortress and checkmate. Takes a lot of moves. Maybe there is a faster with the cannon, but in the end, for sure, you are able to break the fortress with the pawns and checkmate in that situation. Alright, that was a quick, efficient game. Okay, now Instagram. That will probably be the last place I will register in. Like, don't see the point. Yeah. And that's his time to go for outer elephants. No, I I got it. Once again, I don't know so much what are the best ideas for red here. Okay, let's try something not so subtle. What do we have? We have a 4-cup with not so much game and you know, what's our ELO? 2030. Okay, I want to use that rook for place, so I have to develop a bit this side before. And I haven't seen so many people pushing this pawn here. Hello, good evening, Julien. Okay, I'll go for that. I keep in mind the threat of kind of trying to annoy the rook, so if I play here, he may be forced to bring this. And okay, so a move I wasn't so much expecting. That's not today, that was last week. I lost a game in time, because of time. If I push, he simply pushes and my rook is kind of has to come back and I lose a lot of tempos. No, it's not every day like this. Sometimes I just throw the games like a noob, yeah, let's say that. Okay. What about this? So that's to bring the other cannon, and I prefer to have my 2 cannons here and attack this hole because the pawns are very far and my rook will be also able to join the party. And if he does nothing, I think I take the elephant and I sacrifice against the guard. Because the trap is cannon takes elephant, rook here and the cannon is dead. But I have to double check, but maybe simply sacrificing on the guard could be very dynamic. We have that little hole here, not really useful because there is nothing on the squares to threaten, and I don't want to simply give a tempo, and once the elephant is here it cannot really come back, so that's something to remember and to consider, but not to do if there is not a specific reason to move that elephant here. Okay, so he's really processing this move. Maybe he doesn't want to move the elephant because I could simply bring the rook and he has to go with the pawn, and I may also bring mine, and that would kind of split the structure. I could do a discovery, but I simply bring my cannon, and that's what I was aiming, whatever the situation. Could play the elephant, that would threaten the rook, but I go to that square, so I don't know, it will depend, but I will simply wait. It's quite a long time for a single move. Maybe he left be kind of disrespectful, but that's sometimes what you got on internet games. Or like in Korea, that's like +7, so that's really in the middle of the morning of, I mean, like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, so maybe he fell asleep. Yeah, but I don't think that's dinner in Korea. That's more like, I don't know which kind of people plays, because every time I stream that's in the evening in Europe, so in Korea that's like, yeah, the middle of the night, so maybe those are people that are awake at night, so maybe he just fell asleep. Yeah, the last Bayoyomi when it counts for a 10 to 0. In a competition, so the time clock, when you are in your Bayoyomi, they count in Korean, so they do like Hana, Tul, Set, Net, and in the tournament there is a lot of talking clocks, and you don't find at all those kind of talking clocks in Western chess, so that was a bit disturbing at the beginning, but in the end you just know how to count to 10 in Korean
10초
because
남았습니다.
you hear that over and over. That's a very weird suggestion, Julia. Okay, that was a great game. That was coming to be interesting. My Korean pronunciation probably sucks. That's mean no in Korean, and I don't know what that means. Oh, okay. Yeah, I had not enough coins to play, so I will just buy some. Because the coin, once you have like less than 300, they take some time to reload, and since the game was too fast, it couldn't reload. But otherwise, I don't see how useful they are. Alright, and I'll go for inner elephants. And I try to play an aggressive variation. I hope he goes for the opposition. Okay, that's kind of forcing the elephant to the middle because the cannon is coming, and now the two cannons are a bit blocked, but those are typical openings, so that's not advantage yet for us. The issue will be this knight here. Okay, we sacrifice this and the threat to bring back the cannon and get control of this file. Maybe bring the rook here after and the cannon will be dead. Yeah, of course. You can go here if you... Check. That's important to check before bringing the elephant, because he could have gone here and the rook would have been protected, while here he's forced to play something, because if he moves the king then the rook is hanging. However, I still can like wait for the elephant to go here, and as we mentioned before, what if rook here? Pawn moves in order to threaten the knight. And I can simply move the knight. Yeah, let's try this. Of course, I have to mind this, but if he takes the pawn, that's not great. So you were suggesting 62, 82. Sorry, 62, 82. Yeah, bringing back the cannon. I'm not sure yet. I may also want to continue to play with, and since he cannot quickly bring the cannon to the center, I don't mind having holes here, and that elephant cannot move, so that's not today that this cannon will go here. And right now, yeah, I may bring this, so that will be the price to pay. If he moves for somewhere, there's no deal. If my guard was here, for example, then that would have been completely different, because cannon check and then it takes my rook. But since there is no check or way to gain anything, the cannon is here, is dead. (22, 23). I'm not taking directly the cannon because it could take my knight. While here I save the knight. Okay, it's on the border and not really doing a great job right now, but I can take the cannon whatever happens. If the knight was not here, I could, for example, bring the rook and the elephant would have cover. And yeah, there's not so much counterplay for him. I might bring the knight, bring the elephant out, come back with the cannon to the center. I have control here. Also, my knight may come here and threaten that cannon that is also in a bad position. So I can understand the resigning here. But that may be a bit too early, but still. Yeah, that was fast. And also, for example, there was another trap, let's say... Oh no, it doesn't work. Okay, that's completely stupid, but if the rook was here, remember that when you have a rook and well, you can do a kind of skewer with the cannon, because if he moves, you take the rook. If he moves here, you take the rook also. But here, he could simply bring the rook there. Of course, that's pinning the rook, so that would have been not so great. For example, this could be a continuation. Sorry. What to play here? Let's say this to get some space for the elephant or the knight. So check. Rook is now blocked. The knight comes and the cannon has like no so much squares. Can try to go here, but that may be complicated, and of course you are losing a pawn. No, that. Oh yeah, but there is the knight, so no, that's not working. Okay, I think I will do one last, because yeah, I'm playing okay tonight, and that's great. And I will go for the same opening, exactly the same. So before that was just left side elephant against inner elephant, and here it's right side, but that's basically. And in that configuration you can do very aggressive openings, especially with that cannon move, because you can go back and throw, and since you began with center elephants, you are able every time to bring the elephant to the corners. So let me show you how it works. But the counterpart is that the center is kind of empty, and you may try to flee here with the king to escape that. That's the idea. Since the rook has to move, then the knight doesn't cover, and I have to be careful. But I prefer to attack that isolated knight, because if the knight moves, then then the cannon can't join the center. But yeah, that's a working defense. and that's a nice way to pin the cannon, because if it doesn't, yeah, the cannon back to pin and also back to be dynamic to the center. Well done for having find that. So if nothing happens, simply rook takes knight. If cannon takes, knight takes, and that's a free knight. And take, cannon check, and my rook is not threatened anymore. Okay, perfect. Also, he did this because he thought that that was threatening the rook, and that was the case, but the combination is already working. Check. Alright. Don't want to lose this pawn, and at the same time gaining control. Yeah, maybe that was a bit early, because what's to come is the cannon that will be hanging, and I'm not sure there's a way to save it. Alright, so let's toss it for this squad. Pawn here doesn't work because of the cannon. Alright. Some play for this elephant, targeting this weak pawn at some point. Don't push rook here. You have to be careful about the knight, but there is still two pieces, and if he goes for threatening the rook, yeah. The problem was the rook here and pawn here. Well, no, I could go for a rook to that square, but it was kind of pinned with the knight, so better to secure the knight before and simply play this after. Still, I am in a good position with my cannon, because I can decide where I want to go when I will go back. And there's no rush to do so, since he has not so much people to help, and that's why he's actually using his guard, but he's isolating the guard from the king, and we may have some counterplay with that. For example, if nothing happens, he won't be able to defend. Just want to check if he brings the elephant to this square, and he doesn't. Okay, in that case there is a good move and a better move. The good move is to take the elephant because that seems natural, but if you have paid close attention, you can see that the elephant has 0 square, so there's no rush to take it. And what he's targeting is to push the pawn. So what's better is simply to take the pawn, and that's blocking the elephant, and take the elephant after that. Rook check. King here forced, and the knight is covering, so I will go for a small trap. He may take here, but there is a rook check, which is very nasty. And he has discovery, but I don't really care. Okay, so going here with the elephant is not great because he simply comes back, and if you come back he goes the other way and you lost a pawn. While here there is threat to take the elephant, we already gained the knight, so to take this, and that will take a lot of time before a cannon arrives here because he has no knight. Knight are great often because they are good mobility, and cannon can jump over, and he doesn't care about this, and that's quite south side, I would say. Yeah, there's no way for him to pin me, and then next to go is a cannon comes back, discovery check, and here with 0 guards that will be hard to defend because also this elephant will have a great play in that fortress. The knight may be long to come by, but still this is a useless piece, this is not great. Okay, bringing the king, not often the best moves. What's to go is squad here and cannon back, because that's extremely vulnerable file. Those are controlled. The cannon here seems to be good, but is not doing so much. He may go for the elephant, but since that's bad positioning, I will be very fine with only 1 guard in the fortress. Try to be annoying with the rook. I think that's a better play because the knight actually covers. That doesn't seem to be very aggressive, and also that's already removes a piece from this file because the knight was covering, so yeah, we simply can bring that. And those situations may be dangerous. For example, the elephant could have checked here or here. have to really be careful before doing those moves, because there is a zero mobilities for the king. Here that's safe, even the cannon cannot reach, and that's simply checkmate. Yeah, because nothing to put, nothing to bring, and the king was an awful situation. So quite aggressive game, and as you could see, we were able to dig with the first rook on that side because of the play with the cannon, and also yeah, that was the tactic combination. Seeing this, what I should have done here, in my opinion, simply to remove the threat. That's also a threat to check and enter the game. Here the best is to simply go to the center, and if now, oh yeah, that's pinned. Yeah, and yeah, that's very playable. A bit underdeveloped, but that elephant is trapped, and those cannon are not great, because if the cannon moves, then the knight is lost. If the cannon moves, the knight is lost. So, yep, no, sorry, that's bad move. Yeah, very playable. And then, yeah, in this position, no, sorry. Yep. He went for elephant takes. What about takes? And king here is forced, because otherwise he loses the rook. So king here, and now we are in a play where we don't have cannons, and that may be long to finish. But that's not great play, but since there is zero guard and we have a rook, we will be able to gain 3 or 4 tempo every time by checking, and quickly reaching 200 moves. Yeah, I think I will stop for tonight. That was quite a nice series. So we lost only one game, and it was because of the time control. I misclicked, or I don't know what happened. But we'll have very good beginning for reaching third cup next time, because that's already 3 victories. That will be 4 victories to go. And as you can see here, the elo is becoming to be quite good. That's 260, and on my main account, so nope, yeah, so this is my main account, I'm 204 2400, and I'm 8 then. Yeah, hello Arsene. Alright, then thank you for having joined this, and I wish you a good weekend, so I won't be here, and we'll meet next Friday then. See you!